All right, all right. I think we're live. So, welcome everybody. Anybody's in the chat, welcome. Thanks for being here. Uh, I, and I made the biggest mistake there. I got the volume on the chat. Okay. So we started off great. Okay. I'm a human being, so there you go. But this is making comics number 6 for me on my channel. And this time we're going to be talking to Vince Rush and Josh, the amazing animator. So you guys will know these. I'm going to just introduce them. I'm going to let them talk about what they're doing, and then we'll just get right into it, talking about making art for comics or making fan art or whatever strikes their fancy. So without further ado, Josh, you want to start us off? Just tell us, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you got going on.
Hey, I'm Josh. On Twitter, I go by Josh the Amazing Animator, though that's not my actual Twitter handle. Twitter handle's MORDENNIGHT. That's More Night. I am a budding indie comics publisher with Science Wizard Comics, and I am an animator by day, and also artist by night, in various ways.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, and I'm also going to be publishing the indie comic One Pool by Troy Mr. Marvel Torres, and I'm managing that campaign, and I'm going to be getting that out to people. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah,
Awesome.
I've been following that on Indiegogo, and I think you mentioned it. You guys met your goal, got some stretch goals going on, so we can talk, and we'll talk about that a little bit later here too. So be interested to find out what's going on there. So all right, and how about you, Vince Rush, right? Rush.
Yep.
Okay.
Vince Rush. Yeah, I'm Vince Rush, and I go by Vince Rush Art on Twitter and Instagram. I'm kind of a up and coming comic book artist. So currently working on a project with Spencer Desmond, who goes by I think his Twitter handle is at Rooster Puncher on Twitter. And it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about myself.
Well, I'll say something about you. I think I first noticed your art when you were doing. I think you did a piece of fan art for Jack Irons. Am I correct on that? You got the one where you're standing over. Your art reminds me a lot. I know I'm probably the elder. I don't know if I can say this. I'm the elder statesman of us or whatever. I think I'm the older guy here or whatever. But your art, your black and white stuff is very reminiscent of a lot of indie black and whites back in the 80s when indie comics were all about black and white, just because it cost too much to do color variations of books. So
right.
Yeah, but so being able to play with the blacks, and do a lot of rendering. Reminded me a lot of that. So yeah, so I totally enjoy your stuff. So good job on that. So
awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah. So want to welcome a couple of new or people in the chat here, new arrivals or early arrivals, whatever. Your friendly neighborhood ninjas in here. How you doing? And then Macho Man or Macho Dan. Macho Dan's in here, a hero fan. He's in here. So thanks for coming in, guys. Anybody else that's in here, welcome. So what my little series is about is just talking about comics, making indie comics, and kind of what inspired you guys to do comics and do it on your own, how long you've been doing it, how you go about it. Do you do it traditionally? A lot of times I have writers in here. The last couple of times I've had artists. And so we talked about doing the art, and that's my field basically. I do write, but my strength is art. So I think this will be fun. So Yeah. My first question is to both you guys: What? How long ago did you get started doing comic art and sequential art, or anything comic related as far as art goes? And what inspires you to do it all the time? And what's your ultimate goal? Are you looking to replace your full time job? You just want to keep it a hobby, just something fun to do on the side, or um, just stuff like that. So I'll let either one of you start off. Whoever wants to start off there.
You want to start us off, Vince?
Oh, sure, yeah. Basically, I've been drawing since I was like, technically since I was 2. My mom has like little sketchbooks from when I was like 3 and stuff, drawing little dinosaurs and stuff. But as far as comics, I think it started when I got like my love of comics started when I picked up Spawn 68 at it was a local like minute market, and I looked at Greg Capullo's art and I was like, that's what I want to do for my life. Like that's what I want to make my job.
I do like Greg Capullo, yeah. So good.
Yeah, he's kind of my
so he's
kind of my hero, I guess I would say. Comic book hero.
Right.
But yeah, after kind of finding all the back issues, because I kind of knew who like Todd McFarlane and all those guys were a little bit, but I wasn't all the way into like collecting or anything until I got that comic, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. And I would say I've been taking it super seriously probably the past 5 years, like actually wanting to make it a job to replace the day job.
Yeah
But I would say this past 2 years have been probably the most productive that I've ever had. And
tell me about it.
The project I'm doing now, I've posted a couple character drawings on Twitter so far.
Yeah.
And they've gotten a pretty good response, actually. And I don't think I've ever felt this, like, creative. Probably ever, working on a project with somebody. So it's a really cool experience.
Well, I will add to that. Twitter, although it's a big steaming trash heap of stuff, it can be very inspirational, because that's pretty much what I use Twitter for. I follow a lot of the artists, and the better they are, the more they inspire me to try to do better and put better things out, and then connect with people like yourself and Josh and a lot of other people. Macho Dan and Muttman. It's very inspirational to see a lot of independent people, kind of come together on a platform, and it helps drive you, right? And it's very supportive, I guess, if you let it. You can also let it get you down too, right? Because there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of trash on there too. So.
Oh yeah, I know. I tell some of my friends sometimes, I'm like, it's like a love-hate relationship with Twitter, because it's a lot of times just like a trash fire of just like drama and whatnot. But I feel like for the most part it's been actually a huge help with meeting people and getting commissions and
absolutely
just finding collaborators like with you guys, which I'm sure you'll bring up later, the pinup and stuff. But
definitely, I definitely want to talk about that a little bit, since all of us are here, so that's great. So.
Which is super cool. Nice to finally talk to you guys in person. This is our first time for all 3 of us talking together. I've talked with Bruce a little bit before. I came onto your podcast briefly. But I mean, like this is the first time. There's a lot of firsts. There's a lot of firsts so far. Because this is my first time having worked on a anything that's going to be in a comic book. So Jack Irons will be my first. He's popping my cherry, if you will. Giggity. or as Juanpo says, "Oh, muy caliente."
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like it's been a lot of firsts, a lot of opportunity, and I've been meeting a lot of great people. I've just been liking all like everything about this community. There's some ups and downs. There's some bad actors here and there that pop up, but they don't last very long.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and speaking just for me personally, I really try just to stay out of all the drama. I mean, I have my opinions and stuff, but I really don't think people are really interested in what my opinion is. They just want to see my art, and is it any good, or they want they want to follow me or unfollow me like in the same day. I've had that happen a lot. So
right, yeah.
So
yeah, I've had somebody unfollow me because I disagreed with them, like
right.
just a simple disagreement, and they're just like,
yeah,
we can no longer be associated together.
right.
That's so funny.
Right.
I mean, if that's all it takes for you to disassociate with somebody, then I mean, no big loss, really.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you on that. So that's a good segue, though, Josh. So what got you started or interested in working with comics and doing comic art? And I see you're working on a Wampool animation there. That looks pretty cool. So, but what got you started doing it? And is it something that you would like to do full time, or you want to just keep it a hobby? Or
I mean, full time, absolutely. Like if it was possible to do all this stuff full time, I absolutely would. Yeah. Absolutely, I wouldn't even think twice about that. It's fun. It's fulfilling. I love entertaining people. It's something that I've always loved. I've really been into comics since day one. As long as I've been capable of remembering, I've been into comics. I learned to read on comics on the old Jim Lee X-Men books. That's what I learned to read on.
That's awesome.
I mean, all things considered, even though it's like picture books for kids, probably wasn't for kids that young. especially that particular run, because there was some pretty adult themes, and it wasn't like C-spot run. It was like adults talking about adult things and plans and I mean interpersonal stuff and conflict on a global scale, and
right.
Pretty hefty concepts for a kid, but I was enthralled by comics from day one,
Yeah,
and I've been making comics as early as grade 5. That's when I started thinking like, oh, I could make comics,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'll actually bring up a little something here to show you.
All right. While you're doing that, I'm going to take a minute to recognize chat here. So we have Corvus Forest Walker in here. Thanks, Corvus, for coming in. Appreciate it. Macho Dan here says, by the way, big shout out to Macho Dan. Really good guy. Him and Muttman, good people.
You're doing it wrong. If you're gonna shout out Macho Dan, you gotta go, oh yeah!
That's why I have you here today. So you can do all that. You're the entertainer. I'm just a talker. So
making me do all the heavy lifting.
That's right. So he says we have your back, guys. Twitter sucks, but the people you are able to network with and become friends with is awesome. I agree with that. Agreed.
See, Twitter doesn't suck if you know how to use it. If you know how to make use of it in a positive way to make positive change, it's actually a fantastic tool.
Yeah,
I will stand by that statement forever.
No, I agree with that. It's just that there's so many people, I guess, use it the way that they see fit, which I see is the wrong way. So, you know,
Yeah.
that's just me. So,
Yeah.
Dusk Quill team's in here. Hey, thanks for coming in. He says so many great live streams going on. Can't handle it. Hey, you know, I agree with you. I don't know. Like obviously, I'm not a big fish in the pond. So I appreciate anybody that comes and listens or even checks out the videos after the fact. So,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of big dogs doing streaming, and sometimes it's very hard to schedule around them. Kind of getting to be that way with the campaigns on Indiegogo, right?
Oh yeah.
A lot of big dogs are doing it, and it's a competition. I hate to say it. I mean, I don't like for it to be competition because everybody has their own taste and preferences, and but everybody's got only so many dollars to spend, and they're going to do it where they want to. So, but that's just like these streams. So. He says he's watching the live stream and the Wicked Sportsman live stream, so that's cool.
2 live streams at once. How do you keep that going?
Yeah, no, it's craziness. Better man than me, I can tell you that right now. So, but yeah, that's cool. So it sounds like just like everybody, like myself, we all got into doing comic art and sequential art early on. What do you? Let me ask you guys this: do you guys like to work on your own stuff when it comes to doing comic art, or do you find it more rewarding to work with a writer and then another writer and then bring their kind of vision to life while you're doing comics? I mean, is there a preference there, or will you do anything, or is there something either way, like do your own thing or do someone else's?
Yeah. Can I start on this one?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. So I actually think that knowing where your faults lie and knowing where your strengths and weaknesses are is key to being in art in general, whether it's animation, whether it's comics, anything really. And that's one of the things that I learned early on is what I do well and what I am not as good at. I am a good iterator. I'm good at seeing what works and what doesn't, and being able to take that and improve it. So I need to be a collaborator in some capacity. I have to work with other people. Even if it's just, even if I'm just doing my own thing, I still need to like pass that off to people. I need editors. Like I need people to look at my stuff, because when you're as close to something as when you're doing your own work, your own ideas, when you're that close to something, you often can't see the flaws because of that proximity. So you need to take a step back, and you need to like remove yourself from the situation, get someone else to look at it and tell you where those flaws are and tell you how it can be improved. And oftentimes you'll find yourself being like, oh yeah, I mean, how did I not see that? People will see things that are obvious, but because you're so close to it, you won't see them at all until they point it out to you. So I have to collaborate with people. It's 100% a need. So whether that's me as the writer and somebody else is drawing, whether it's me as the artist and someone else is writing, and that's what I'm doing. With Science Wizard Comics, I've got I'm helping out a lot with like the marketing and doing the fulfillment and the managing the campaign for Juanpool. For Pineapple Pizza Man, I'm story editing and doing the art. And for a lot of the other projects with Science Wizard, I'm just doing like art and story edits and saying yeah, go for it, and just being an encouraging voice. Like I like to direct. My background in like animation, it's in film, so I'm and that was the part where I shone in that area, is directing people, is figuring out where people's talents lie, and how best to utilize them for optimum results.
Right.
And you know, like a lot of the times, like you'll think something's funny or something's great, and because you're so close to it, you might be completely wrong. You know, you actually test it with an audience eventually after putting a whole bunch of work into it, only to find out that it doesn't work with people. Like my comic book that I made in grade 5 called Captain Stupid.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Very nice. No, I agree with you completely. Especially if you're working on something like, for example, you know, the Rec, my own project, right? Doing the art, doing the writing, doing the lettering. Once I do something, you know, I do a page or a couple pages or whatever. I have 2 people that I send it off to kind of proofread, or what I call idiot read it, because if they catch something that makes me look like an idiot as a writer or an artist, they tell me, like, this doesn't work. You know, look, this is what you did here, and this is totally different here. And you're right. You're so close to it, and you're working on it every day, and you're constantly looking at it. You just might overlook it, or you might not see it. You know, or just like you said, you might test out a line of dialogue or a joke or a plot, you know, a subplot or whatever, and it just doesn't work, and you don't see it. And it's best to have other people take a look, and it really helps. So
yeah, absolutely. Like even with the with Pineapple Pizza Man, where I'm doing the story editing, like after I finish my edits, I hand it off to some other people who I trust, and get them to take a look at it, and then to edit it as well, because you know, even in that instance where I'm not the primary writer, where I am the essentially the quality control. Even I know that stuff can still flip past me, right? So
right. Oh, that you keep saying Pineapple Pizza Man. He's obviously a villain, right?
No.
Because
What?
you can't have pineapple
Okay,
pizza.
come on. How could you possibly come to the conclusion that Pineapple Pizza Man, of all characters, could be a villain? That is preposterous. This is Pineapple Pizza Man. Does that look villainous to you? That is a hero.
Yeah.
Is he a mutant? Because he has pineapple on pizza, so he's a mutant, right?
No. He's not a mutant.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just sacrilege to have pineapple on a pizza, isn't it?
No. Pineapple is the best possible topping that you can have on a pizza. I mean, Juan Poole agrees with me, and if Juan Poole agrees, you know that it's good and it's just.
What about Donald DeLay? I think he's not a very big advocate of pineapple on pizza, is he?
Oh yeah, he is.
Is he? I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, he's
Loves it.
Of course he is.
I'm half trolling you. So.
No. He's this is a piece by Donald DeLay for Pineapple Pizza Man. He's a big fan.
He might be a big fan of Pineapple Pizza Man, but I don't think he's a fan of pineapple pizza.
You know, right, I'm surprised he didn't replace it with like pepperoni or something.
Right.
No, that was I commissioned him for that. He opened up new commissions. I was like, oh, this is too good. I got to get him to do pineapple.
Did it hurt him to draw it? Anyway,
awesome.
Probably that was kind of my hope. I wanted to hurt him.
So, Vince, how about you? Do you like working on like your own story, going your own way, or do you would you rather bring other people's visions to life and put it on the page and tell that story?
I think at this point I like kind of taking other people's things and like collaborating with them on bringing something to life, only because I don't feel like my writing skills aren't up to par yet. I'm still trying to figure that out, of like how to put a story together, kind of, because I have this story in mind that I would love to do, but it's not quite a story yet. I have like a beginning, middle, and end in mind, but it's just a bunch of ideas just floating around. So I think I like the collaboration right now is great. I think I've worked with a few different types of writers too. The one I do enjoy the most is when they kind of do a more Marvel method, where it's, even if it is a script, it's fairly loose as far as you know, they leave it open for the artist to do the panel breakdowns and like kind of let them go wild with the storytelling,
right,
as far as art goes. But for putting a story together, I think I need a writer right now.
right.
So
like your talents and your interest lies more in the art side and not so much writing right now. And that might,
definitely.
and that might change later on down the road. Like you said, you have some ideas that you think might make good stories. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from, just hiring a writer and say, hey, this is my idea. Can you write a story within this, within this concept? And that's what that's what a lot of people do now too. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's even what Mike Mignola did that with Hellboy, didn't he? With the first story, I think he had like John Byrne helping him.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
I know that I have plans to do that with some of my properties.
Yeah, I think that might be the route to go. Just it's not my forte yet, so.
Well, that's what I'm doing with this. I think I mentioned it to you guys before the stream, and before I talk about that, let me jump back to the chat real quick. Macho Dan and Corvus going back and forth about how Macho Dan pays Corvus under the table with some Tim Hortons gift cards and Molson Ice. So,
Tim Hortons, nasty.
I guess that's a Canadian reference, right? It has to be.
Yeah, it is. Tim Hortons is gross. It's not gross, but it's like it's garbage food.
All right. And then Duskquill, congratulating you, Josh, for the getting over the 5K with Wandpool. So
no, he says shout out to me. No, shout out to Duskquill, because Dusquill's been a really big supporter of Wandpool, a fervent, active, very vocal supporter, and I got to shout out him because he's been really great. And also Duskquill, sorry I haven't responded to your DM. It's just been crazy busy, and you're not the only one DMing me. Just so you know.
and Duskquill says he'd love to get asked by an artist to write something using artworks they make. That would be great. Now, you've heard of Ashcan Comics Publications. I think that's the full name. Duskquill. Have you heard about them? They're doing these anthologies. I was a part. Well, actually, I'll be a part of the April one or May one.
Yeah, I want to do something for an anthology. I really like that. It's a good way to kind of just stretch your legs, you know.
Yeah, and especially with this, I think Nate is the guy that runs Ashcan Publications, and with these anthologies, he's calling them flash fiction. So what they are, they're very short stories written. I think they're around 600 to 800 words, and one image goes with them. Right, you do one image. I was part of the first one, which is Old School Monsters. That I worked with, what's his name? Matthew. Can't remember his last name. But shout out to you, Matthew, if you're watching or you watch later. And it was a Frankenstein story. It was a rural Frankenstein story where he's kind of a redneck farmer Frankenstein. So, but yeah, they're doing a whole bunch of them. So the book is full of different ones. I think the first book has 16 teams on it. Then they're going to do another month and another month. So that it's a good outlet for people wanting to get their feet wet and do something, both artists and writers. So that might be somebody you might want to contact. And so,
Yeah, that's pretty cool, the anthology thing. I'm actually doing a short with Nasser for one of his anthologies he's going to do.
oh yeah, yeah.
I like Nasser. Nasser's a good guy.
No,
He's been a pretty he's been a good supporter. He's actually a really supportive guy, really nice guy, and I really appreciate everything that he's doing for the community. He's a little bit of a punching bag, but he takes it in stride, and I appreciate that.
No, yeah, I've had him on this. I've had him on this stream before, and he's a really good guy. So go ahead, Vince. I'm sorry. I mean, Kajaf.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. No, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's cool to kind of be part of anthologies, because then you're, like you said, it kind of gets your feet wet with just doing kind of short stories. If you're wanting to try out doing comics or whatever, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Nasser's a pretty funny guy.
No, absolutely. He's a good. He's good people. Good people, as we old folks say. Good people. So
I don't know where you're getting funny from, because
well, that might be the wrong choice of words, but I'm glad he takes it all in good fun.
You have to, because I mean, there's a lot of personalities within the community, and you're bound to get some of that, right? Like you're bound to get some. I mean, I take it all the time. Like I have Slick Jimmy, like he was the first one to coin the phrase snow monkey in reference to me. Because I'm Canadian, and like some people could get offended by that, like some people could, but I'm just like, haha, no way, I like it. I'm adopting that. I am officially Snow Monkey.
That's awesome.
And speaking of art and whatnot, we have a contest that's running alongside the Juan campaign for people to design their very own Juan Sona. Similar to like how that Spider-Verse Spider Sona thing was going on.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing the same thing for Juan Pool, and the earlier you get in on it, the better, because I got a little surprise regarding the Juan Sonas. So if you guys are gonna make a Juan Sona, like the sooner the better, and definitely get it in before the campaign is finished.
Nice,
sweet.
I've got mine planned. I just have to draw it. Maybe on another stream.
You've been throwing that out on Twitter as well?
A little bit. I haven't been as vigilant with it as I should be. And I hate that. I hate that fact, but sometimes I fuck up too. I'm only human.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, yeah,
problem.
Aren't we all?
So that leads me to talk about the situation that us three conveniently are in, or were in, and that was our collaboration piece for pinup for Jack Irons. Before I get into that, Josh, did you mention that Troy might join us?
He might. He's pretty busy tonight though, so
okay.
There's no guarantee on that particular.
No problem. It's just that you had mentioned it, and I just wanted to see if you wanted to, if you could send him the link or whatever, and that would be great. So.
Oh yeah. I'll send it to him in just a moment.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. So getting back to this pinup, if anybody in the chat doesn't know, the three of us were asked by Cody to do a pinup for Jack Irons. Is it number
2?
2? Yeah.
Yeah.
2. And
numero dos.
Yeah. So I jumped at the chance because I like drawing Jack Irons. I think it's an interesting character. He's a big, bulky cowboy guy. I'm a Texan, so I love it. It's great stuff. So I agreed, and I got teamed up here with Vince and Josh. Vince did the inks over my work, and then Josh did the fabulous coloring on it. So you guys will see that in Jack Irons too. So with that in mind, how did you guys like working with me? I hope it's okay.
Oh, great! I mean, you took the concept that I came up with and really elevated it to the next level. I love what you did. Absolutely.
I got to be honest with you, Josh. I got to be honest with you. When you guys were telling me that through the Twitter DMs, I'm like, oh my God, how much shit are we going to fit in this picture? I don't know if I can do it because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you did it. You did it just fine, man.
Thanks.
You made it look easy. You made it look easy. Absolutely.
It wasn't easy, but it was fun though. It was fun. But every time it was like, okay, we need this Cthulhu looking guy with all these and make sure you put the money bags in. Make sure I said, okay, I got it. And then it was the goblin, and then the lady, and then Jack Irons, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have an aneurysm trying to figure this all out. But no, it was fun. It was a good idea. I'm glad you came up with it, and it was a lot of fun. And then seeing what you guys did with my stuff was fantastic. So
it turned out good. Inking it was a lot of fun because I think I've only inked maybe a couple other people's pencils before, so other than my own.
I genuinely can't remember if I ever have colored other people's art. That might be a first for me.
Yeah, you
guys did a great job, and I hope my pencils weren't too loose for you, because I normally don't draw anticipating other people inking my stuff, and so I'm really loosey goosey with the pencils sometimes, and but I think you did a great job, so kudos for that. So
thanks, man. You know what? I really like working with you guys. Like we just had a really good dynamic overall, I would say.
Yeah, we had really good communication. I don't think anybody took anything personal, and
no.
I think it worked out great. So I'd be totally open for doing something in the future.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Macho Dan reminds me. People in the chat. Hit that like button if you like the video, if you like the conversation. Give a shout out to these guys. I know Josh did the ultimate sacrifice tonight to be on my show, so appreciate that. And
the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, didn't you give up your movie? Didn't you give up your movie?
Oh, right, yeah. I was gonna go see Alita again tonight.
Yeah.
I wanted to take some of the thunder away from Captain Marvel by seeing an actual good movie with a female lead.
I still got to see that.
It's so good, dude. It's so good.
I know, I haven't gotten the chance yet, but every time I see an ad for Marvel posting about Captain Marvel, I'm like, I'm going to go see Alita Battle Angel. Thanks, though.
Well, we'll see how it does. It's an opening weekend, so we'll see. I don't think it's going to do as well as they think, but maybe it will. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. So, so hit the like button, subscribe if you want to. I have a goal this month. By the 1st of April, I'd like to get 100 subscribers to the channel. And I know that all depends on what kind of quality of content I put up here. So if you guys have any suggestions or criticisms or whatever, feel free to comment on the video. So
for sure.
Let's see what we got here in chat. We got Carl Oro is in here. Thanks for coming, Carl. Appreciate that. So is C Diddly D.
Hey, C. That's my girl.
Hey, your girl? All right. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. And so wait for the DVD, see the movie. I guess Alita, right? Is that the one he's talking about? Or are you waiting for the DVD to see Marvel?
I think he's talking about Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay.
But I'm definitely getting the Blu-ray when Alita comes out.
Right.
3D, man. 3D Blu-ray.
Awesome.
So cool.
Yeah, that's great.
It was actually one of those few movies that is better in 3D. I think.
Ah, man. All right. I'm going to have to go see that in 3D then.
Yeah, man.
So
If you can, tonight might be the last night for it. I don't know, man.
Oh, no.
There's a lot of shady shenanigans surrounding that film.
well, I normally would save this question towards the end of the stream, but since we're talking about it already, I did tease it in a Twitter post. But favorite, or what is it? Best all around female superhero.
Oh yeah,
give it to me. What do you got?
I like Storm.
Storm.
Yeah, she's what I grew up with the X-Men. She was a team leader. She was stoic and like, I don't know. She just like, you trusted her. You know, you knew that like with her leading the team, everything was going to be turning out pretty good.
All right. What about you, Vince?
Cool. That was gonna be one of mine. Storm. She always seemed cool because she was kind of like a leader. But I do have to say, more recently, mostly due to the movie, Wonder Woman was pretty badass.
I really liked her in the movie.
Yeah, the
and
movie.
I don't think I really knew much about her in the comics, as far as because I didn't really read DC that much. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any others that stood out to me. I'm like spacing her name, but she was part of Jim Lee's Wildcats. I always thought she was cool when I was little.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know the name.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But
what about you?
Me. Well, I'm a big. You guys are gonna laugh, okay? But it's okay. I'm a big fan of She-Hulk. Always have been.
All right.
Why would I laugh at that? She-Hulk's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people. I mean, she hasn't really received very good treatment lately, but original She-Hulk, really good stuff. Really fun comic, and I don't know, just enjoyed the character. It was good stuff. So let's see, Psylocke. Psylocke was always on his list. Macho Dan there. Zealot. Well, I don't know.
Yep, that's that.
Is that the character? Zealot?
Yep, from Wildcats. That's the one.
Okay.
I don't know why I was spacing her name, but the costume and everything, mostly because it was Jim Lee drawing it, probably. But I always thought she looked cool.
Yeah, I've always liked Jim Lee. Jim Lee, he was one of the guys. Obviously, everybody knows one of the guys that left Marvel to go Image, one of the founders. But I don't know. I remember those days, and a lot of the artists were very similar in style, right? That went to Image. They definitely had that style, and I always enjoyed his probably the most. I was always a fan of Mark Silvestri. I always thought he did always enjoyed his art as well. But still, I still think John Buscema is one of my favorite comic artists. And then I cannot go a podcast without saying that my favorite artist of all time is Frank Bazzetta. So,
dude,
always got to throw that in there. So.
Who doesn't like Bazzetta?
You be surprised.
I'm just kidding.
Get out.
So.
Him and Buscema is a beast, or was a beast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Conan the Barbarian was one of my favorite comics growing up, and he was a major artist on that. He did a lot of the stuff on that. So,
did you ever read Conan the Rogue?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That's like one of the graphic novels I really want to get, but I can never find a copy that's reasonably priced.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think one of my favorite story arcs for Conan was with Belle of the Black Coast, the Queen of the Black Coast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, her and Conan together. I always thought that was they're like the dynamic duo for me. So awesome stuff. So
Yeah.
So as far as art for comics and things like that, you guys have current projects, active projects you're working on? I know, Vince, I know you've been doing a lot of, I see you posting a lot of art. Is there any current projects you're working on that are upcoming? Things that you want to just get out there and tell people about?
Yeah, so the one I'm working on now is it's called Hell Seekers with Spencer Desmond, and so we're starting off with a one shot, and it's a superhero team. Basically, he pitched it to me as like Jim Lee X-Men and Capullo Spawn like combined.
Okay, that's
so
crazy. Yeah.
it's like two of the things that I loved the most. So I was on board like automatically. And then he sent me some character descriptions, and I've been drawing the characters and while he's finishing up the first script. But I think we're gonna pitch it to some publishers, and I'm sure we'll have an announcement whenever, if something happens. But it's looking like we want to do an ongoing with this team. So if it can happen, I told them I'd be on board to do an epic run of an ongoing series. That'd be awesome.
It'd be great for you. Yeah, for sure. Very cool. Anything? You got anything else? Or I mean, not that you need any more. I mean, but I'm just.
Other than that, I was just kind of trying to figure out my own story before that, which I've posted some art from that. It's called Theo. That's like the main character's name. And other than that, I have a short that I'm doing with Nasser. That's a short horror story. And also I have something with Cody for Jack Irons, a little backup story for issue 2.
That's cool. Yeah.
And that he sent me the script for that, and I thumbnailed half of the pages, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Look forward to getting those pages to him.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. What about you, Josh? I know you have lots of stuff coming up. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're doing the print run campaign for Wanpool right now. You can find that on Indiegogo. Just look up Wanpool. That's JUANPOOL. That's this handsome fella that I'm going to be animating right here. Minus the. There we go.
I think I have the link in the description of the video too. So
oh, awesome!
Everybody wants to check that out. So
two steps ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. But yeah, I'm working on I'm running the campaign for that. I'm publishing Wanpool for Mr. Marvel, who is the creator and artist on Wanpool. And after that, Troy and I are going to be working on a sci-fi together. It's one story with two different paths, essentially, where there's Last Call, which is the story of a group of 4 mercenaries who are chasing after the characters in my book, Help Becky Smash. And it's basically a shared origin story of sorts, where there's an event that both teams kind of get caught up in that sets both of their stories in motion. And it's an interesting idea, a little bit experimental with how we're going to be tackling it. because it's going to be 2 graphic novels. You know, they both follow the same story, but from different perspectives. So,
yeah, that's really interesting. That's really cool.
yeah,
Yeah, it does sound cool.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. So I think we're you know, we're doing something we're doing something right.
No,
Something innovative.
no, that's very cool. The reason I think it's very cool is because and I better say this now so you don't think that I just stole your idea, but the rec Into the Breach, you know, the thing that I had on Indiegogo that I didn't succeed at getting funded. That's basically how that was a slice of the bigger story that was removed, and then for the final book that would come after Into the Breach, that story, that little 24-page story, would have been told from the perspective of the other recovery team that they were fighting with. So that's the way I wrote that whole thing. So, and that's why I say it's cool that you're doing that, because you're doing that with a whole origin story, which is really cool and very innovative. So,
Yeah, it's definitely a passion. Like these characters, are pretty interesting. Like there's a lot that I think people will get behind. There's some comedy. There's some you know, some subtle social commentary. You know, obviously we're not like ramming it down people's throats. most of the social commentary is really for like is really mostly just like some, you know, some minor visual gags, you know.
right.
Stuff that we just thought was really fun and funny, and yeah, and if you're looking for that, if you're looking for it, like you'll know what it is when you see it.
Right.
Awesome.
Very cool. Other things going on with you? Other projects?
Oh yeah, of course, Pineapple Pizza Man.
Oh yeah, the super villain. I forgot.
Hero.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I did a couple like I got a couple commissions. I got this one from Ibai Canales of Pineapple Pizza Man taking on all of Nasser's little Stardust alien fellas.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Yeah. What was it? The piece that I drew that got me the job drawing Pineapple Pizza Man was this one, where it was Pineapple Pizza Man having beaten up Donald DeLay's character, Brutus.
Brutus, yeah.
Yeah, so Theron Kurth, the writer, he came up with the idea of Pineapple Pizza Man, and I was so mad because I didn't think of it first. and he started harassing Donald DeLay with it. I loved it so much, I just wanted to jump on that train and you know, help harass him. So I drew this picture of him taking out, you know, Donald DeLay's character. I came up with a title for a comic. It was just like a mock comic. Like I never even finished it. Someday I will. But one of the main reasons I never finished it is because I've been working on the design for Pineapple Pizza Man, and it's evolved somewhat. You know, if you look at you know, side by side, they're quite a bit different from each other. You know,
Right.
like it's evolved, and I think he looks quite a bit more badass in his latest iteration. He
does look good, except for those pineapples on him. But
no, that's the best part. That's the best part, dog.
Right. That's good.
But yeah, that was the story behind that, and how I got the job. And then eventually I started up the Science Wizard Comics thing, and I was just like, oh well, you know, I mean, I'm doing the art for Pineapple Pizza Man, and I'm gonna have one pool on Science Wizard Comics. You know, so I went to there and I was just like, hey, why don't you have Pineapple Pizza Man through Science Wizard as well? You know, like really start things off with a bang.
Right.
And, yeah, that's exactly what we've been doing. He's working on the writing. He's finished the first draft of issue 1, and I think he's finished first draft of issue 2 as well. I still have to do some editing work, on that. But yeah, it's been tough juggling all these roles because I had the Jack Irons pinup I had to finish. I'm working on and managing the campaign for Juanpool and designing stuff for Pineapple Pizza Man for the art side. And so it's tough. I'm juggling a lot of hats, but I love it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's great. Sounds like you're pretty busy. So, but that's always good when you're doing what you like. It's always good to do that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So,
and if you guys haven't picked up Juanpool yet, go check it out. We've got some fantastic stuff. Since we hit our $5,000 stretch goal, every single issue of Juanpool is going to get a card. So if you got one issue, either one or two, you will get a trading card. If you get number 1 and 2 or any of the other or the T-shirt and poster, you'll get 2 cards. And if you get the everything bundle, you get all 5 of the cards. We're making 5 different cards. They're going to be distributed randomly through the comics, so you never know which one you're going to get. The only tier that's going to get all of the cards is the everything bundle. So if you got the everything bundle, you're going to get all 5 cards. And so
that's great, man.
Consider backing today. We were at 148%. We're heading towards our second stretch goal, which is at 7,000. And at 7,000, we're still working. We're still working out exactly what it's going to be, because we had an original plan for how we were going to do the stretch goals, but then we kind of shuffled it around because we wanted to do the trading cards first. So we need to double check and like work it out. But we'll have it sometime tomorrow. If Mr. Marvel's if he gets back to me on that stuff soon.
You guys are doing really well on that campaign. You still got what, 23 days left, and you already met your goal. I mean, it's really good.
Yeah, well, I mean, 23 days left, and I think I know what we're gonna do for the campaign, but tentatively at the $7,000 stretch goal, we want to get some pinups, and I have an idea of a couple people that we'd like to do them, and we had a flash goal. We had a flash goal that we hit as well, because when we launched on day 1, we were so close to the goal of that our initial funding goal, that I told everybody that if we hit our funding goal on day 1, that I would include a free pinup for everybody. So there's already going to be 1 pinup, and if Mr. Marvel and I are agreed upon the $7,000 one, which it looks like we're pretty much on the same page with that, then people are going to get 3 pinups. Because
nice.
7,000, you're going to get an additional 2 pinups from some awesome artists.
That's great. That's nice.
That's tentative. It might change to some degree. We'll see.
Well, what about Juanpool action figures or bobbleheads? Dustquill and Ken O'Hare inquiring about those.
Oh man, I can't even tell you how much I want that. I want there to be Juanpool bobbleheads, or bubble bellies would even be better.
That would be awesome.
Oh my God.
That would be great.
A Juanpool bubble belly. Just like
make it happen.
I love that idea. I don't think we've ever seen any bubble bellies before, have we?
No, I don't think so. It'd be interesting how to engineer that, but it would be funny.
We're innovating. We're innovating all over the place. Yeah,
that's right.
You know what? The bubble belly. I think you probably just have to set it up similarly to like the those little dancing hula girls, but instead of a hula skirt, you just make it a big belly.
Yep. I think you're right. See, that's the beauty that's the beauty of the indie community, right? We're just innovators, right?
Right. And then we have to be.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Innovation is born out of
Necessity.
two things: necessity and desperation.
Ah, yeah, probably both. Probably a little bit of both, I imagine.
That sounds like music
Oh,
lyrics.
yeah.
Innovation, desperation.
Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah, I usually run these about an hour. I don't want to keep you guys all night or whatever. But to close up, would you have any piece of advice to offer? Up and coming or people who want to get into the comic art business, doing comics and stuff. You have anything that you've learned that you could pass on to the?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The biggest thing I can say is if you want to make comics, make comics. That's the best piece of advice I think anybody has ever said. We see it all the time, but it's 100% true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you want to draw, just draw. Put it out there. Get people's criticism. Improve yourself constantly. Just keep going. Never stop. If you're making comics, like just jump in both feet, start making something, and see where it goes. If you fail your first time, your second time, your third time, your fifth time, don't give up. Just keep improving. Keep doing it.
I think
because everything worth doing is worth fighting for, and it is worth improving.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I think that's a really good advice because I don't think people follow that enough. If it's exactly what you said, if you want to do it, do it. I think a lot of people get hung up on the criticism part. They're afraid. They're afraid to put stuff out there because they're afraid that people won't like it. They're they're afraid that somebody might, be, you're always going to get criticized or you'll get criticism. I mean, not everybody likes everything, right? You're not going to be able to please everybody, but it's always good to be able to sift through all that feedback you get and decide what's constructive for you and how you deal with that and how you grow from that, or what's just people being hateful and whatever and ignoring.
Yeah.
So I think it's important what you said. You just have to do it. You have to get out there. Don't be afraid. There's always going to be somebody that likes your stuff, and there's always going to be people that just don't like your stuff. It doesn't. I've been doing it for a long time. I worked in the gaming industry for 15 years, and I can tell you that some players liked my art style and some didn't, and there was nothing I could do about it. That's the way it goes. So, good piece of advice. What about you, Vince?
I just want to say
go ahead.
one last thing before you move it over to him. But just take a look at this. Like with Pineapple Pizza Man right here. This is my most recent character design, and this is what I was doing in grade 5. When I was like 10, 11, whatever.
Yeah.
This is improvement, but it takes time. Like, you don't get there overnight. You have to keep working at it. And even I'm not like on Carlo Rose level, right? Like he's I mean, he got that, he got really good within a short amount of time, all things considered. But it's because he just never stops drawing. Like, he's always drawing, always.
Yeah.
And I mean, give it 10 years, in 10, 15, 20 years, Carlo Rowe, he's going to be God tier. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. No
question about that. Like, that's just the thing that's going to happen. Like, if he keeps going at his current rate. So Dust Quill, you say you're not a man of talents. That's because you just haven't
tried.
You haven't fed them yet. You got to feed those talents. You got to give them talents. They eat time, right? That's what they nourish themselves on. So
sometimes you gotta force feed them too.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Anyway, I'm done with my my advice rant. So take it away.
Okay.
I don't know if I could top that. No, I think first, I just want to agree with what you said about if you want to make comics, just make them. Or if you just want to learn how to draw, just draw. That's it. That's really all there is to do.
Make like Nike. Just do it.
Just do it. I do also want to mention something that I think a lot of younger artists, like high school and even younger, but I know I was like this too, where I was totally worried about style.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh well, what's my style? I don't have a style, and that's all you're worried about, and you're not. It's like you just have to get over that, because once you just sit and draw, it kind of just comes naturally, and it's hard to explain that to people that are, in high school and worried about that. But you seriously just have to sit and draw and not even worry about if you're drawing like your favorite artist or not.
That's true.
No, you're absolutely right. It's you develop your style over time, just like you said. The more you draw, the more you get comfortable. Your style starts to come out, right? And
yeah.
It might be something you don't even notice. It might be something until somebody points it out to you. You might not even think you have a style. It's like, I don't know if I have a style. Yeah, you do. If I look at your art, I know it's your art, right? So
yeah, I actually have to say, up until
I have to disagree.
Okay.
But go on. We'll get to that.
I was gonna say, I didn't really start noticing that I kind of developed my style of drawing until I did Inktober in 2016, when I was developing drawings for the story that I wanted to draw for myself. And then people started mentioning, like, oh, I really like your style. I was like, oh, wait, I have one? Oh, I guess I do now. I just, it just comes naturally.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because I was really trying to draw like Todd McFarlane and Greg Capullo, and you can only be a really kind of bad copy of whoever you're trying to ape.
Well, that was me with Humberto Ramos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
I love that guy's style, and I wanted to be that. I wanted to be Humberto Ramos.
I know. I wanted to be Greg Capullo.
Yeah. Well, then I met him at a con, and he was kind of a dick to me. And I was just like, oh, fuck that.
Forget
it. No, I still love his style, but like I have the reason I had to disagree with you about everybody has a style is because I genuinely don't have a style, but there's a reason for that, and that's because I'm in animation. That's actually my field, so we actually kind of have to be able to adapt to a lot of different styles.
Right.
So I've never really put the time into trying to develop a particular style, just that's all my own, and I kind of like it that way. Actually, I like being able to just do pretty much anything.
I think that's a skill set on its own too.
Maybe that is a style of its own.
Yeah, well, I mean, I couldn't speak to that because I'm not an animator, and you by far surpass me in every way there is as far as animation. So I have, I couldn't argue with you because I do recognize that as an animator, you might have to use several different styles, or be able to emulate different styles.
Do you want me to show you the way?
The way?
I don't know. You teach me or something. I don't know. But
is a
do you know the
way? I will show you the way.
Oh, look here. We're almost done. And Mr. Marvel shows up.
I gotta help you with your Juan-Pool impression. You're going for too high pitch. It's more about being chill with it. You know what I mean? You don't want to go high pitch. No. It's relax. Gotta chill with it. It's about looking at life and knowing that, hey, I'm gonna make it home today.
Hey, don't worry. I will get it eventually. I will get it eventually.
We will get it to you. We will get everyone speaking Juan. I just wanted to pop in real quick to say, hey guys, because I can't really stay because I'm still actually at work. It's a really busy night. But I did want to pop in and say hey real quick and say you're in good hands with my buddy Josh.
Hey, man. Yeah. And congratulations on your campaign, dude. Doing so well. I'm really happy for you. It's good stuff, bro.
Oh yeah,
Thank you. That's a
congrats.
congratulations to the community because that's everybody getting together and showing what's up. You know what I mean? So congrats goes to the community. All I did was write.
Couldn't agree more. This is really everybody's victory. It really is, because you're showing people like, you know what? We're voting with our dollars, and we vote for Juan.
Nice. Absolutely. Hey, and thanks for stopping in. And we've been shouting out Wanpool for a majority.
Oh, I've seen. Hopefully, I can. Hopefully, I can get on next time and actually stay on. Just this, it's tax season, so everybody's spending their tax money on tattoos. So
there you go. That's good for you, though. It's good for you.
No, it's awesome for me. It stinks for comic fans because then that means I'm tattooing a lot more and drawing a lot less.
Right.
But hopefully, I pack in all the bucks I need to fix everything up, and in a couple months, I won't need to bust tail so much on tattoos because I'll have to be busting tail on comics.
There you go.
Yeah.
All good.
That's the goal.
The real goal is to get to 10,000 so I can get you that fat fucking paycheck.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, you know me, man. I'm happy that everybody gets their book. That's my success.
Me too.
I already won. Everybody gets their book, a poster, and a T-shirt, and trading cards. So yeah. I am super happy. I mean, anything else is just icing, but this cake tastes good already.
It's a fantastic cake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey,
gentlemen, good night. Thank you for having me briefly, and I'll try and get on to stay on next time.
Sounds great, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Great night, guys.
Take care.
See you, Troy.
Well, I guess we're pretty much wrapping it up then, yeah?
Yeah. I like to keep these around an hour. I don't like to keep them too long.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I just want to say that I appreciate you guys coming in. I really do. It really helps me a lot. I like to see it grow the channel a little bit and get. That's why I like the feedback. If anybody's got feedback in the chat, whatever, please leave it for me. Let me know what's going on. And again, congratulations on the campaign. Vince, love your stuff. Keep going. Love what you did with my pinup, with my pencils. Great stuff.
Thanks, man.
I think you mean our pinup.
I meant my pencils. Our pinup. My pencils. I gotta really watch myself around you, man. You're like,
yeah, you gotta know.
Like that.
You gotta know. I'm gonna be breaking your balls a little bit.
I know, right? So
it's too much fun not to. It's too much fun not to.
No, it's awesome. It's all good. And just want to reiterate, great to have you guys on. I appreciate it. If there's anything I can do to help you guys out, whatever you're doing, just let me know. I'm always on Twitter. People in the chat, appreciate you guys coming in. It really helps talking to these fine folks as well, seeing how they go about doing their thing. And hit that like button and subscribe. And quick announcement, because I wanted to wait until we held this one, because I already had this one set up. I mean, the next one set up, but and that's on Tuesday. It'll be a different day this time. Next Tuesday on the 12th, I'm going to have Muttman on and Donald DeLay. Donald DeLay and Muttman will be on here. So
cool.
All right, cool.
We'll be talking about
tell Donald Pineapple says hi.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna mention your supervillain to him and see what he says. So.
Hero. Okay. Okay.
Oh my god.
So so again, thanks guys. I appreciate it. Thanks to chat. Can't wait to see Wampool, and can't wait to see that pinup too. And our pinup.
Oh yeah.
Our pinup. Okay.
I know it's gonna look so good in a book.
Yeah.
It is.
Gonna be awesome. So all right, guys. thanks again, and we'll see everybody later. See you on Tuesday. I hope everybody come back on Tuesday. So
Come back Tuesday, guys. Everybody.
Yeah. Senoritas.
Nice. Juan Pool. So
Juan Pool.
Juan Pool. Okay. Bye, guys.
Quip.